What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about 10 Funko Pops that have gone up in value recently. And without any further ado, guys, let's get it started. Here we go. So I like to do these videos from time to time, maybe about once a month, talking about Funko Pops that have gone up in value. It's really interesting to see like the trends of things, how it can correlate with like these figures going up in price and stuff. And I would say a good majority of what I've picked today has some rhyme or reason to it of why it's gone up. So everybody that sent me suggestions over on Instagram, I appreciate it. Let's dive into pop number one. First pop we're going to be talking about today, guys, is Pop MLB Cal Raleigh. Estimated value is at $60. You can see that it was going for around like $30 not too long ago, and he's trending for even more than that at $70. And recent eBay solds go anywhere between like $55 all the way up to $95, so that's where you get that $70 average. And I literally could only find maybe like 3 of these listed on eBay. There's not a lot of them. So diving into the reasons why this one has gone up, guys. Number one, Cal Raleigh is having an absolute fantastic season. I think he's currently the leader in home runs in Major League Baseball. And speaking of home runs, he actually participated in the home run derby a couple days ago and he won the competition. His popularity right now is at an all-time high, so it makes sense probably why this has gone up. And another reason why this one has probably gone up in value is there's not a ton of them out there. This was a limited piece that was only available to get at a Seattle Mariners game last year, so whoever has them is holding on to them because they're not listing a bunch of them on eBay. I'm assuming if you lived in Seattle and you went to like shops here and there, you'd probably find more of them. But if you're a Cal Raleigh fan trying to track this one down, it's definitely a harder one to find. All right, next up, guys, we have a pop from How to Train Your Dragon, and this is the original Astrid. Estimated value on Pop Price Guide is at $65, with the trending value right now closer to $75. And we can see that it was going for around that $45 to $50 range not too long ago. But as far as recent eBay solds, you can see, you know, even out of box is going for around $50, but you can see that it's going for around that $70 to $75 range sold. And there wasn't a ton of current listings out there, a good chunk of out of box, some inbox, and the inbox ones looks like they're listed for around 100. And obviously this one makes sense why it's gone up in value, because How to Train Your Dragon, the live action movie, just came out. I know that they came out with pops for the live action movie, and I think those have sold probably pretty well, but this is definitely an older set to track down, guys. And I don't know, with just the popularity of the new movie, this is probably the only reason why this one has gone up. And I would say people probably want to collect the characters from the animated movie rather than the, you know, the live action movie. So that's maybe another reason why this one has gone up. But I definitely see this maintaining its value. It'll probably go down a little bit once, you know, the How to Train Your Dragon hype kind of goes away, but it is a harder piece to find, so you never know. It might still maintain its value. And speaking of How to Train Your Dragon pops, guys, there is another one I want to suggest to you guys, and it is Barf and Belch. Estimated value over on Pop Price Guide is around $80, but I've been seeing trending at around $90. Not too long ago, it was going for around that $60 to $70 range, but this is just such a fun pop, guys. We can see on eBay right here that recently solds go anywhere between 80 to 100. Not a ton of them listed either. I only found a couple in box and a lot of out of box, just like the Astrid. And just like Astrid as well, this one's gone up because of the movie. But one thing that is interesting, guys, the only pop that they made of dragons from the new movie is toothless. So none of these other dragon pops have gotten another pop anytime recently. These were the only ones that were released when they were made back in the day. So people are looking for those different variations of dragons, and this is the only way that you can find them. And a lot of them, guys, have maintained some really good value over the years. I've just seen a little bit of a spike with that new movie coming out, and they're just getting harder and harder to find. Up next, guys, we have a video game pop, a PlayStation pop, might I add, and this is Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding. GameStop exclusive, trending on Pop Price Guide for $29, but the trending value currently is at $65. It's doubled. And we can see with the recent eBay solds, guys, going anywhere between like that $60 to $70 range. Not a ton of them listed out there either. I maybe only found like about 10 of them, but all of them are listed around that same price, anywhere between like 70 to maybe even $90. And this one definitely makes sense why it's gone up, guys. Death Stranding 2 just came out not too long ago. It's been getting pretty good reviews from what I've been seeing. It's kind of got like a cult following, if you will. It's a pretty, niche kind of game. It's pretty unique. But yeah, this one's definitely gone up because of the game. I wouldn't imagine that there's a ton of collectibles out there. I know that there's this one, and then there's another pop that's a part of the Death Stranding set, but this is the only one that I've seen really go up. Do I think this will maintain its value? Absolutely, guys. The PlayStation pops, video game pops, are always fantastic ones. I don't know what it is, but there was that whole era of PlayStation pops that they came out with maybe a couple years ago, and a good majority of them have gone up in price, and I think it was just a matter of time before this one specifically went up. and it just definitely makes sense with the correlation of the new game that came out. All right, up next we got a Pop Digital Pop, guys. This is the Grail Eustace bag from the Cartoon Network series. Estimated value on Pop Price Guide is at $290. Trending value is around $300. And this was going for around $230 not too long ago, so that's why I included it here. But like I said, recent solds have been anywhere between $300 to $320. And I know what you guys are thinking, 3 sold pops, does that really make a difference in the value and everything? Why would you mention it on this list? Absolutely, guys. For one, I know that there's less than what is listed on this pop. So they say that there's 999 of these pops because it's a Grail from a digital set. But I know for a fact that there is less of them out there. I probably want to say there's probably 600 of them, but not a lot of these are going to be coming up on the market, you know, very often. And so when it's sold, it's something to report on. Pop Digital Pops are always an interesting case, and you'll see prices fluctuate quite a bit. But once scarcity kind of puts into place, just like in this one, with it being a Grail, you will eventually see the price go up. It's a fun, unique pop, guys, and I know they recently just came out with another limited piece Courage Pop, and maybe that has some correlation with it. I would say it's probably more nostalgic based because there's only one Eustace bag pop, and it's the scary mask, and that's pretty iconic to Courage. But this is definitely a fun one. Do I see it maintaining its value? Absolutely. Not a ton of them out there, and it's just such a fun pop. Okay, up next, guys, we have a Universal Monsters pop in the form of the Phantom of the Opera. Estimated value is at $70, and trending value is the same at $70. And we can see not too long ago it was going for around that $45 price range. You can see on eBay selling for around that $70 mark, and there's not a ton of them listed out there. Most of them are listed around $70, $75. Now, I'm not 100% sure why this one has gone up. I have a couple of guesses though. My main guess would probably be because I know the Epic Universe opened up not too long ago. There's an awesome Universal Monsters right there, and I know that the Phantom of the Opera does have a pretty cool part within this ride where he's playing the organ and everything like that, and he turns around and kind of, grabs at you on the ride. And so maybe that's a little bit more iconic, but I would say overall the Universal Monsters have definitely had an uptick in popularity because of that new land in Epic Universe. And I think this is just a fun example of this one going up. It's a pop that you don't see very often. I think these ones came out in maybe like 2015, 2016, so they're definitely older. And yeah, that would be my best guess why this one has gone up, and I think it will definitely maintain its value. All right, I feel like I mentioned this one before, maybe a while ago, but we have Charles Entertainment Cheese, retro ChuckECheese right here. Pop price guide's got it at $34. Trending from what I've seen, it's gone up to around $40. Not too long ago, this was going for around $20. So from what I've seen, it looks like it's doubled in value. And you can see with the recent, eBay solds and everything like that, it's going for around $40. And also the ones that are current listings, anywhere between $40 to $50. Now, why this one has gone up, I'm not entirely sure. I know that they just recently opened up like specifically ChuckECheese, just arcades without the pizza, like a whole rebranded thing. So maybe that has something to do with it. People are really nostalgic for ChuckECheese. I mean, I didn't go a ton as a kid, but the times that I did go, I definitely do remember. I would assume that they didn't make a bunch of these pops when it came out a year or two ago, so there's not a ton of them floating out there. So it definitely makes sense why it's gone up. It's just one of those weird niche pops that you don't see very often, and when it has value, it just goes up, I suppose. But this is definitely a fun one. Okay, last 3 for you guys, and we'll breeze through these pretty quick. But another fun baseball pop, guys, we have the Oakland Athletics mascot. I want to say that his name is Stomper, but regardless, guys, we have a value on Pop Price Guide at $75. Trending value is about the same at $80. And not too long ago, this was going for around that $35 to $40 price range. And yeah, it's definitely gone up. Recent solds go for around that range between $75 to $90. And honestly, there's not really many of these listed. I found maybe like 3 of them, and they were going for around, that same $70 to $90. Reason why this one has gone up, guys, I mean, there's a lot of different things swirling around the Oakland Athletics. Definitely a little bit of uncertainty, if you will. And if I had to guess, I mean, obviously they're not going to be named the Oakland Athletics for very long. I know that they're going to be moving to potentially Vegas from what I've been seeing. Currently, they're playing not in Oakland, but in Sacramento. And I think this is an interesting one because, I think people are looking for merch out there that still has that Oakland Athletics on that, and I'm kind of curious to see when they move to Vegas if they're going to keep this mascot. And I think this is maybe why it's gone up. People are just looking to reference to the past with this guy. Don't think that they made a lot of this mascot when this released, a handful of years ago. But with all the news of being moved and everything like that, I think this 100% makes sense why this has gone up. I'll be honest, I really don't know much about this next figure right here or this character, but from Spy Family, we have the Bond Forger Chase. Yeah, just making sure I said that right, guys. guys, and this one just barely came out. Estimated value is around $65, but trending value is around $80. And this is a Funko Shop exclusive, like I said, that did not come out too long ago. You can actually still buy like the common with the chance of a chase over on the Funko Shop. But anyways, recent eBay solds go for anywhere between the $80 to $100 range. And listings are about the same as that, and there's a decent amount of them out there. Now, reason why this one has gone up, I know a lot of people have been asking for Spy Family pops for a decent amount of time. Don't really know much about this character, but this is a limited chase on the Funko Shop, so, and it's a flocked one. You don't see flock chases very much, so I think it's just a combination of people wanting these for a while, the fact that it's on the Funko Shop, so it's not the easiest to get the chase of, will be why it has a higher price point. Do I think this maintains its value? Maybe. I think we'll probably see it level out at around maybe like 60-ish, maybe even 70, but it's very interesting to see a recent pop like this, especially, you know, a chase and stuff, have this kind of value. All right, last but certainly not least, from the show Invincible, we have Adam Eve. Estimated value, guys, on Pop Price Guide is around $28, with the trending value being closer to around $40. Not too long ago, this was going for pretty much around like retail, like 14 to 15 bucks. And you can see the recent eBay sold listings, 35 to 40, and also the listings right now are about the same at 35 to 40. So this one's definitely gone up in value because I think, you know, there's only one Adam Eve pop, if I'm not mistaken. The Invincible pops have actually had some pretty good value. They've had some restocks here and there, but I don't believe this is one that's been restocked. And that could be a good reason why this has gone up. And it's kind of the only different character that you can get from the Invincible series, you know, different from Invincible and also Omni-Man. So people are probably looking to get the different characters, and this is pretty much the only option. Do I think it maintains its value unless, you know, they don't restock? I think it will. I think it will always go for around that $30 to $40 range. But if it does restock, I, you know, would expect this one to, you know, go back to around retail. And that, my friends, are some Funko Pops that I've noticed going up in price here recently. If you know any, guys, or you have any in your collection, let me know down below. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos like this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching again. You guys are awesome and the best. Thank you for all your suggestions as well. But like always, guys, remember to be kind to one another. Always promote positivity. I'll see you in the next video. Catch you guys later.